Hi there! Finally, welcome back to my channel. Hello! We just endured like 10 days from purity hell. As some of you know, I'm old and sick, and we had 10 days of it was just hell. Yeah. People don't know how good they have it until you don't have it anymore. Now, got my cozy socks on, got my fake fireplace rolling, just because, if it's not 100 degrees in the south and it's 60, we're freezing to death. I'm having this night because this phone and my tablet died, and we just got Wi-Fi back today. We were without power for 10 days. So if you was wondering where I was at, I was taking cold showers about every 20 minutes. This hit, let me see if my camera can pick it up. This was September 27th, 2024 at 5:29 a.m. This is just what my camera caught when the rains were flooding everywhere. So let's show you. Oh, you need some volume on that. Oh. Anyway. Luckily, it did not blow any of my cameras off, and we just rebooted. Everything's good to go. This came like a thief in the night. My ass went to bed at 3, woke back up because my fan went off. And I was like, I didn't pay it no attention because this is the first time in in my whole decades of being on the face of this earth, I have never, ever seen, and I've been through 2 hurricanes, 3 tornadoes. My car got struck by lightning. I saw a gas station get picked up from a microburst and go across the road and sit down on top of the Burger King. What else? We were camping out on the top of one of the Asheville Mountains, which is, by the way, not there anymore. I've got some disturbing images and stories that I want to catch people up with. In all my years of surviving natural disasters, the worst one probably was when we were up in the mountains camping in a Chevette with 2 little boys and the baby daddy. And so it was a little creek, and it was a mountain on this side, a mountain on that side, and a little creek run in the middle, right? So, we thought, okay, we'll wash our dishes there. We'll get some water and boil it out, and it'll be all good. Well, the rains came. For 4 days, we were stuck in a Chevrolet Chevette. Me in the front seat, the old man in the ex in the other seat, and 2 little boys that we had to lay the seat down, was sleeping in the back of the Chevette. And every time we opened the car door, the car would flood. So we were sitting in the car with the floorboards wet. I was able to keep the children dry, but if you went out to piss, you come back soaking ass wet. Finally, the rains died down. They knew we were on the mountain, and a Jeep coming went to the south. So I don't know what the hell I did, because when Hurricane Camille hit, age test here, I was just a little bitty thing, and that was my first interaction. Again, as I told a friend today that I made, a new friend I made, hi Y, if you're watching this, you're awesome. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh Lord. There's so much to tell, but anyway, so I had my youngins, the seat down, the youngins, a Jeep come, finally wrenched us out, and now 2 years ago, a tornado hit the house. I don't have any visuals, so this is just something you can listen to. I do have visuals, and I'm putting it together. It's just kind of rogue right now. I just want to let everybody know we're okay. I suffered horribly for 10 days because I'm sick with illness and disease, and diabetes and hot weather do not go together. The only way we were able, well, my husband couldn't do it. I could. I was taking cold showers because, menopause is a bitch. Postmenopause is that last one that's just going to drag you out. Yes, ladies, I'm talking to you. If you think menopause sucks, wait till you hit postmenopause. I'm dying. Anyway, I wish that was all I could be bitching about. But anyway, there are, oh my God, There were people, luckily, I guess just because I just give, some of you know I'm spiritual. If you don't love Jesus, that's okay. I'll still pray for you. We are okay. We were not. The only inconvenience was, again, we were without power, which totally sucked because my alarm system didn't work. I had medical equipment. Thank God I had, older medical equipment that ran on battery. Damn near run the car and the truck battery down, keeping phones and lanterns and little hand fans. The one thing that kept me going, we'll go ahead and put some light on the subject now. I may make a part 3. I'll have better. I'll have better here. Oh, it's on fire. Anyway, the only thing that saved my ass truly throughout the storm. Lord, it's so dark in here. I don't have the lights on. Because we're relaxing, we're maxing and relaxing and trying to catch up. But this little thing here, sorry, it's been a very long day. But this was the only thing. And I mean, I replaced them, and the ones I got off Amazon, which is shit. I could fart harder, but this, thank God, was USB. This is all I had compared to the monster that I sleep with. Don't look at that naked woman. Don't you do it. So, to make matters even worse, and we're just going to go back down. This is Fireside chat, so here you go. They're fine. He's got to go to the vet. I discovered horribly that JoJo has some kind of periodontal issue, and oh God, I just hope the cat don't need braces. Jeez, was kids not enough? So, I was in bed over there sleeping. Keep my fan there. I was all curled up, ready to go. Because in all my years of living in the South, if you will, okay, I have never, ever, ever seen one come up in the land. Now, yes, I'm in Carolina. I do have some devastating pictures to share or not, because it's no mystery now what has happened, what we've been through, this, that, and the third. It was hell. We were trapped because where I live, it's like, it's a community. If you take a cross, that's our road. You come in, and there's my neighbor, a neighbor, me, and then the house next door that's not selling. Neighbor, 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 road, neighbor, 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 neighbor. And we could get out, but we couldn't go nowhere. So my husband's like, I'm going to run to town. We had no idea that the I crossed the state. Now, I'm in South Carolina, and I normally don't tell people where I'm at, but we were affected by the storm only because we lost the things that are convenient, such as going over here. And every time that we went to a room, out of habit, we just kept doing that. And I'm here to tell you, as a society, we are quite, I gotta sit down, we are quite spoiled, okay? Those were batteries, so I had things sitting around. We were not prepared, but we will be again. We're going to invest in a generator because I lost $1,000 worth of food. No big deal. I still have my life. We are surrounded as we are at a mountain holler, and the tree. My husband went out. He's like, "I'm going to town. I'll be right back." Typical Saturday. We was going to make tater tot casserole, and excuse me, I'm going to burp. I just got done eating. Excuse me. I hate doing that, but anyway. So he was gone to town, to do his normal thing, and he was gone, and I'm like, okay, who's out there lollygagging? So I get in the car. I'm like, where the hell my husband at? He's just supposed to go to town and come right back. Little did I know that we had pop-off tornadoes. We had 200-year-old trees, because like I said, I'm way out here in the boonies. We had 200 trees look like God just took his finger and went, boop. And the trees that are like 200 years old have been here forever. ages because I used to live in this area before, as you know, when we moved 4 years ago. So, with that being said, I'm like, wow. And then the weirdest thing was on the last night before we got the power restored, we was without power for 10 days. Husband was trapped. I thought he was out lollygagging. I got worried. I'm like, it does not take 3 hours. Everywhere he went, he couldn't get out because there was trees and live power lines down. We had no clue that it had already come up from Florida. Alabama's kind of aight. It wrecked Georgia. It hit us pretty hard because the Broad River flooded, and things are just gone now. The people that caught it the worst was Western North Carolina. We have heard nothing but horror stories. As you know, the husband's secret agent man, so he knows the powers to be, and I'm here to tell you, they were finding people in trees. They were finding bodies in trees. We heard a horrifying story about a little boy in Western North Carolina who actually got the grunt of it really, really bad. I mean, Chimney Rock is still standing. It was heartbreaking. I had to quit watching that stuff because after day 2, my anxiety was through the roof. All my illnesses was jumping on me, good Lord. And the sweat, you could just walk 4 feet and just sweat being a crack of that ass. So, there I was taking cold showers just to keep myself, because, diabetics and heat do not hee-haw. And it was like 90 in the house, and it was like 110 plus the humidity. It did not cool down till about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it only got down to about 68. And that's, I'm a night person, so I would come in, get all wrapped up, but shoot, by daylight, by 8 a.m., it was already blistering hot, so I think I slept 4 hours the whole 10 days. It was awful. The story I want to share, and I hope it's not sensationalized. We did see it early. Husband said he saw it on a reel. I'm like, I wish you would have kept it so we could have found out. But I was told that there was a little toddler that was found, thank God, behind a police station. And all they can get out of him is his mother's name is Emily. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, I don't know where my husband found it. We do different platforms. I do Facebook and I do this, and I used to sing on the platform. You can check my songs out if you want to hear me howling on my community tab, just saying. Some of them may be incomplete because they wanted $100 to continue 5 years of me singing to keep my recordings. Some are still there, but it is what it ain't. That's not where I'm going with this. So the stories that kept coming in, the pictures, the devastation, me having high anxiety and being really high-strung sick from the heat. He liked to never got back. So I got in the car thinking, okay, he's out there lollygagging. Let me go find his ass. Had no idea. I got about a quarter mile from my house, and I've not been scared of nothing. I'm married to, secret agent man. There's a pew-pew about every 4 feet in my house because of what he does. So I wasn't worried or scared about that. I've never been so terrified in all my life because I'm going down the road in my heavy Chevy, which is a Camaro, and it's about that high off the ground. Water was everywhere. The bridge was washed out. I'm like, holy shit. Trees were down. There was a live power line, y'all, arcing in the water. And I thought and power poles just snapped like toothpicks. So I'm like, holy shit, how am I supposed to turn around? Because there was nothing but logs, and power poles. And the river just took over the bridge, just like it did up in Western North Carolina. Asheville's gone. There's so many monuments. I-26, where North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee border meets. I-40, gone. I mean, just totally gone. And I've traveled I-40 many, many times going on my way out to see, family and friends in Kentucky and Missouri. And it's a beautiful road, and the only thing you really have to worry about is, rock slides. Well, I saw, man, I-40 is just gone. I'm like, it's going to take a hell of a crew and it's going to take a very long time. So, meanwhile, back in the Camaro, I'm like, oh shit. So I had to do a 360, not really, more like a 36. I had to kind of back up, pray to God that there was no oncoming traffic because it was a mess going forward. And it was a mess trying to turn around and come back because there was lumber out there. My OS, I was in my nightgown of all things. I'm like, I'm just going to go see where he's at because I was worried and I couldn't reach him because all of a sudden we didn't have cell service. I woke up that morning and that's the first video because that was how naive. Because again, in all my decades of being on this earth, I have never, ever, ever seen a hurricane come up into land. Now, naturally, I have survived Camille, Hugo, and Matthew. 3 hurricanes, 2 tornadoes, a microburst. I think I said this earlier. I'm not going to repeat it. But, I mean, I'm like, what did I do to Mother Nature? Jeez. People love to come here because, Southern hospitality, we're a friendly bunch of people. It's a nice place. It's hot as hell and humid as you know what. I don't go, we get 10 months of summer. So if you like hot, come here. If you like humid, and it's like breathing soup. So I saw the logs that was blocking the oncoming traffic. And luckily, I guess the Lord was smiling on me. Luckily, I was able to turn my car around, get my ass back home. No cell service, no power. My security system's down. All the neighbors are out in the yard. It's the first time that we actually spent time outside. I was able to read some books and just be straight up miserable. So he was trying to find, and luckily my husband has a built-in GPS. I could put him in the middle of Michigan and tell him to go to Baltimore and he'd know where to go. It's just like that. I'm sorry I don't have any vivid pictures. I will share some coverage, but I probably don't need to because by now, if you have not seen and heard, we are devastated. One of the biggest problems is, well, y'all know because you've seen me before, trot to the kitchen, do my thing. And one of the worst things was at night, because it was totally black, you couldn't see nothing. Nothing. Luckily, we're all in a cool neighborhood. Oh, you're just about to catch me. Uh-oh. This couldn't happen to a better moment. I'm coming. I forgot the alarm system was on. Hang on.
Your home is now disarmed.
I do that every time. Okay, it's just a go to hell video at this point of just lay your phone down and I'll just finish telling you our little story. Anyway, over here, it was so dark, and at night I would sit on my little swing just to get cool, but I ran into my own storm door because when the storm came in, it didn't, like my neighbor's porch. Those porches are screened in. Y'all seen them before. Sorry, that's supplies and, this, that, and the third. Hello, baby. Yeah, say hey to the peoples. Say we made it. Anyway, I'm going to have a seat, y'all. So where was I? Oh, so my neighbor's porch, okay, they're all screened in. His screens got blowed out. My screens were fine, but my patio glass door got sucked out. Well, after that, when it's pitch black and we're running around with pissy ass flashlights, because again, even when the storm hits the coast, we get pop-off tornadoes, we get torrential rain, we get microbursts. I mean, we're only about 4 hours from the shore. And, when we went to bed that night, we figured, oh, well, hate it for them. But this definitely was a rogue storm. I've never seen one or even heard of one. Jojo. Or heard of one ever coming up on land. They start out there as a tropical depression in Florida, and they usually take Florida, Puerto Rico, Texas, and sometimes they come up here to the Carolinas. So this was different. And of course, now we got to deal with adjusters because the husband found some roof shingles. I'm like, that's great. The house isn't even 5 years old. He found a few roofing shingles, and the porch was dripping water. So I think, well, luckily State Farm is, like a good neighbor, stay the fuck over there. Well, they're actually going to help me. I got to go online. It's a big pain in the ass. And luckily, we had, stuff that you don't eat. I'll have to do a what I found at Cracker Barrel video later. Luckily, we were stored up with dry goods and everything was all good there, but we didn't have no power. And fortunately, my secret agent man, Mr. Husband, he likes to go off camping with his buddies every now and then. We cooked on a propane stove on that back porch. But what's scary is we buy our groceries from a southern chain called Ingles. Now, y'all know I've done a refrigerator tour. I finally found one. I'm going to do a review on this. They are at Cracker Barrel, if you have one, for $1.50. If you go on Amazon, $25. I'm like, Amazon, what are you doing with these price gouges? So now, luckily, I was about to call Meals on Wheels. I'm like, hell, I'm old enough. But it is stuff that we were able to find because Ingalls up in Black Mountain, where the hurricane was the absolute worst. People are devastated. And my faith in humanity has been restored because it's beautiful to see people coming from other states, the National Guard. Trump gave 25 million. Somebody else gave $1 million. It's probably going to take $1 trillion to put us all back together. And Asheville is gone. Luckily, Chimney Rock, which is a very famous site that I went to with my asshole parents when I was a kid, the flag is still standing. And they're putting flags all over North Carolina because that's where people were found dead. They found a couple under a tree and they were hugged up together. And these stories will just make you weep. So now the problem is because Ingles, the grocery store that we buy from, because it's a southern thing, in case you're wondering, this is the best mayonnaise. The Blue Label's the best. Anyway, this is all we can find because the major grocery store that we have, because where I live is here. Here's a town, here's a town, here's a town, here's a town, here's a town. But if you go over here, I know this is a shitty analogy. I'm so not prepared to get back into my YouTube. Here's all the commerce. Well, when husband was out that day, he went to 7 towns, and luckily he knows his way around. He was able to get back home 2.5 hours later. I was pissy, but then I was realizing, oh shit, what happened? Because we didn't have no internet, no Wi-Fi. We didn't even know that the hurricane had come up through until, word of mouth, luckily. So he was driving everywhere. He could not get out everywhere he went. Live power lines. It took 3 days just to get people started. So he was stuck. I got about right here and I saw, oh shit, and that's when I come my little happy ass back to the house. And so he was out and about trying to find his way to get to town. And like everybody else, every gas station that would have been, this is a terrible assembly, and I'm filming wrong, good Lord. So, here he is trying to get to this gas station, 200 cars. I'm like, why is everybody getting gas? Where the hell are you going to go? The roads are all jacked up. The roads are still, the roads are clear, but there's so many trees down. And because we live on there's a mountain holler, but then we live in the valley, but, it's safe to say we the hell out here. So anyway, every gas station, there was people freaking out, oh, I got to get gas. And people that could get to the stores was just buying up everything. You couldn't find butane, propane. Luckily, like I said, we had a stove. And I tallied up the last 6 weeks, or 4 to 6 weeks of groceries because, y'all seen my refrigerator before. I lost about $100 worth of fish because I'm on that fish, chicken, vegetable diet. I gotta sit down, y'all. Y'all know my back's bad. I can't do this. And the air conditioning's kind of cool on the old compression socks. Yeah, I'm lovely tonight, boy, let me tell you. But I was dressed up today. Today was my wedding anniversary. 17 years with this man. So, just to let you know, if you're still here, because this is a lot of TMI, FEMA is involved. Don't listen to the rumors. We did. It's a government grant. Don't worry. You don't have to pay it back. A lot of people are getting turned down. I heard $750, then $500. Then I heard you getting turned down. Then I heard you got to pay it back. I did some homework. It's a government grant. It's considered a what is it? A catastrophe. To where, shit, I can't even think of the word. State of emergency, the National Guard's about every 5 feet. Luckily, Southern people know how to act. There's no looting, there's been no crime, there's just been survival. So because Ingalls in Black Mountain, and I have a video, I will share that. Yeah, I know. This thing will tell me to shut up. I was just showing you that, I was able to save those, and so we can't get food now. That's, well, my tubby a little behind. I don't mind. I can live off reserve, but I'm diabetic, so even if I don't feel like eating, I still have to eat. So let me come over here and sit down for a minute. We knew the cable was back up when I had to put my my fish tank back on my Roku. Please, miss, don't pay my mess no attention. I'm going to sit down and rest, y'all. Yeah, and you will see pillows all over the place because when you got a bad back. So, bear with me. Where was I? So, where was it? So, the cable just come back. So, it had to reset everything. And I'm kind of like what one of my friends said, Ace, you're so right. I miss things that have cords. Because we almost run a car battery. My husband's big old Jimmy truck, we almost run the battery down. Because at night, luckily on track phone or straight talk, we had connection. I was able to watch, I watched that Menendez documentary, those little shits. They damn killed their parents for their money. Why else would you kill the golden goose? But anyway, and then last night, The Penguin on HBO. Oh man, it's so good. There's only 3 episodes a month. Why did you bother with 3 episodes? You could have just made a penguin movie. Not the old school kind from the 70s or the 80s. Colin Firth, I think. Anyway, check it out. So, this is where my prone position is. So we had a hard time. So we don't know what we're going to do about food. Luckily with State Farm, they're gonna check my roof. I'm gonna ask them to replace the patio screen because after it was blowed out and it was so dark, I walked into it twice, which made it even worse. So there's that. I'm like, that's what you do. People prank people by doing that, or you see people walking in the glass, and I walked right into it, and oh God, poor husband, he had to put it back together, and he was just dripping sweat. I mean, we were miserable. This is not for sextennials. That's a new term that I've come up to. Not sex, six. Sextennials was like, thank God that we are old school and we grew up with poor ass grandparents that knew how to garden, how to cultivate, how to make something out of nothing, how to turn a can of beans, how to learn how to eat a can of cold beans and Vienna sausages, and we even reverted to potted meat. So with Ingalls being on Black Mountain, and I'll get to that, there'll probably be like part 5011 of these things because I do have some coverage. I'm just waiting to snipe my own shit that's on my tablet because I wanted to share my experience. I know that, there are hurricanes out in the Midwest. I was out there, but I think we had a cyclone or something one time. We had to go down into, these houses way out west, out towards Missouri, have these like little slant doors, and you can go down into the fruit basement. Is that what they call them? I don't know. So now the problem is, we did go out to Cracker Barrel and I found some awesome goodies. I'll do a feel-good video after I get everybody caught up. Don't know if anybody missed me, but, the channel has been perpetual. Jesus, I'm at 30 minutes. But now everything is much better, but it was 10 days from hell. I kept crying. I was having panic. I was feeling sick. I started swelling. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to have to go to the hospital. And I mean, I never prayed so hard in all my life. And I just, to the people that are faithful and spiritual, God got us through it because we were the lucky ones. I lost a few shingles. Yep, I lost about $1,000 worth of food because, we keep food. So when he does go to the grocery store, because as you know, my husband is my caretaker and provider, we keep, I'm on a certain diet and he eats, I'm on a special diet and he eats whatever the hell he wants. So when he goes shopping on Saturdays, we just get fill-ins. And you saw my refrigerator. Well, like I was saying, with Ingalls being on Black Mountain, the distribution center is whacked. It got flooded. It took damage. People was pissed off. Well, why don't you give the food away? I'm like, and give everybody botulism and then sue the shit out of Ingalls. So that's the only grocery store when I was doing the cracker, the little layout, if you will, on the on the bar over there. I really don't know what we're going to do. I mean, we're not going to starve to death. There's plenty to eat. But what we are going to do is we're going to get a generator. A friend of mine gave us a bunch of MREs, and they were expired. But, Steve MRE, a friend of mine on YouTube, he's probably a distant friend. We haven't talked in many, many, many years. He does reviews of MRIs, and, look there, another hangnail. So I ate some pasta tortellini, and then I realized, holy shit, it's a bowl. It's just a serving, but it had like 38 carbs. I'm like, that's all I'm allowed a day is 30 to 40 carbs as a diabetic. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, well, the soldiers that are out there in the field working, fighting, doing whatever, they have to have high carbs because they're machines. That's how the military runs. And yes, that is my husband's anniversary present. I would show it to you, but we don't put our faces on. There's a reason for that. He's secret agent man. That's all I can tell you. And lupus just doesn't look good on camera. But, today I was feeling myself and I got complimented. So I was like, oh, hey, thank you. Had to go to yet another doctor. So I had him a portrait of me and him from a long time ago. And my lupus is calming down, but it got so bad that my arms were swelling and my hands were swelling because, again, I have, and that's the donation bag in case you're wondering. That's one of my cards. That's my other inside card. But anyway, this is getting kind of long. I don't know where, and this is just stuff like that I just haven't done. Moving here, I refractured 2 fractures in my back, and it took me 2 years in bed, and praise God, I'm finally up. And I'm able to walk, but still, I'm still having issues, and I probably will for a long time because I'm not getting any younger. She loved it. Thought I would show you this because we had every window up, the blinds up, the windows up, and the house was just hot. It's that well insulated. Sorry, I need to do this while I'm sitting here anyway. There's one back here. She's hanging on for dear life. But anywho, there'll be more. I am not going to be able to tell you all at once. This is now 34 minutes of just background noise. I do recommend the Roku because when you turn all the lights out at night, it's kind of cool, but we made it. More junk. We made it. We're okay. He finally was able to find a way to get back home, and he was quite terrified, to say the least, because those those power lines that were down were live. And he got lucky, and some of them was like low-hanging fruit, so he got lucky and he came home. And then the neighbors was all out in the yard, and we all started talking, and I had a weather radio, and I had an old school one. I bought a new one. What did I do with that old school one? I was going to show it to you, but I have no idea where it's at now. It was... Oh, Lord. That's my bedside stuff. I don't know what I did with it. I put it where it would be... I lose shit all the time just because I'm not organized or nowhere near done. So, anyway... That's part of the story. I'll do the visual next. Thank you for hanging out. Me and the snow globe, we're going to leave you with that. I hope that if you had anybody that lived out this way, that they are fine and okay. We were lucky, we were blessed, but we still have been inconvenienced. You know, when you live in your bed and, you know, oh, pardon me, I got to lay back down. There's a cat toy, and let's see what Oscar's doing. He's in his little box. Oh, isn't he a doll baby? Hello. Sorry. We made it. We're okay. I'm back to vlogging in my old people socks because, you know, neuropathy's a bitch. And yes, there's dust everywhere on this blanket. I got to get it out of here. But anyway, I did put some things on Sweet Gypsy Rose 5150. I will be uploading as soon as the tablet does. So if you see a lot of videos, I'm just catching up for my sake, your curiosity. I can show you some things, tell you some more stuff. But the good news is that we made it. We took some damage. We had a loss. Luckily, we have insurance. And we're going to buy a generator. I've already got hurricane lamps, USB handheld lamps. We're going to be ready for the next one because, well, I don't think it'll ever come on land. But we do get tornadoes and microbursts. And even in the winter, we get ice storms where everybody makes fun of Southerners. Oh, y'all can't drive. Y'all can't drive in the winter time because y'all just stupid, you know, that sort of shit. But no, nothing could be further from the ignorant truth. We don't get snow here. We get ice. And the roads turn into skating rinks. And your car can go through snow, not a problem. Snow chains, snow tires. But when you on ice, honey, you all over the place. That's why you looking crazy when you upside down in the gully, because we get ice. If we got snow, we would be so happy. I'd love to be in the middle of Nebraska with snow, just snowed in my house, snugged up, plenty of food. But anyway, I have talked way too much. I don't even know if I'm going to post this at this point, but I'm okay. I could not check my channels. I could not upload because this phone is Sweet Gypsy Rose 5150. This is Sweet Gypsy Rose, and this is just business and who I deal with. And hey, sweetheart, if you know, you know. Anyway, peace. There'll be more to this. I know this was a very long story, but it was just the beginning of what was to come. So I hope that if you are like any of us Southerners, and you've took a terrible loss or you've took a hit, look, here's proof that I was eating MRIs. And I said, I'm going to keep this spoon. My husband's like, why? I'm like, because this was the spoon that kept me fed, because his friend gave us MREs because we were hungry. We were. Do you know how heartbreaking it was to throw 6 bags of groceries away? And I sat and done a tally, and I'm still talking, good Lord. And the tally has come to, well, potato camera. We figured out it's $1,056. So between that, the roof, and my patio glass door, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there with my MRE spoon. So anyway, I know this was a very long video. If you made it to the end, you were either bored or very interested, or maybe you might even miss me. So I'm going to finish watching the penguin. I've got some Bible catching up to do. I've got some praying, some praising. I prayed every day. I gave God the glory. And on that last day, I was like, Father God, I'm not going to make it. Please, please. And the moment, because it's kind of weird to ask God, could you turn my power back on? You know, that was so small. And I'm like, so I was praying, could you just help me get through it, Lord, help me get through it. And then I'd go and get my little rain room behind the TV as a shower, and I'd cool off. And I basically, TMI, I basically wore no brassiere, no underwear, and I had this big old towel about the size of a bed cover. I just stayed in the towel, and when the towel got good and when I got good and sweaty, the towel came off. I was back in the shower, because as soon as you put clothes on, you were miserable. The old man was running around in his boxers. It was that hot. So kind of ironic that I'm like, oh, the house is nice, cool, 68 degrees. We got our televisions back online because, everything is online, and it's getting kind of late, and this video is, oh Jesus, it's so long. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with this. We are okay, but there is more to come. I will share with you some of the horrifying stories and things that we wish we didn't know. So if you were in the area and you were affected, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to those that lost loved ones, animals. I spoke to a new friend today, and she said she saw a dog floating, because what happened is the Savannah River, the Broad River, Saluda River, Tiger River, all our rivers, that was the big thing, because the rains came. And I showed you the rain on my camera earlier. The rains came, and so the ground was totally saturated. We had like 95-mile-an-hour wind, and I lost 2 shingles, so that says a lot about my home. But anyway, I'm going to have to go. This is too long. I don't know if anybody's... Just put it on in the background. I say that at the end. But anyway, we're okay. There'll be more to come. I'll probably do another voiceover and just show you what was before us and what was all around us, because I was like ready to go to a motel. But all those towns that I was telling you about, there was no power. Cities at night had no power. And then I'm going to tell you a strange story about some weirdo up the road that said he was saving 6 angels and his house caught on fire. And we went, oh my God. I was like, this is a lunatic. Get us the hell out of here. So when husband was riding around trying to get lost, and then I'm looking for him, and I'm like, I'm going back home. This ain't for me. I'm in a Chevrolet Camaro. Are you kidding me? So now there are still places without Wi-Fi. If that was the worst problem we had, I'd have been fine. But all those towns, and there are still people that don't have power. Luckily, we didn't lose water, because if I hadn't had that water, my ass would be... It felt like that. Anyway, this is way too long, but just to catch you up, I'm not gone. Please, people that I wrench for, don't take my wrench. I'm still here. We just caught some serious hail from Mother Nature. The end. Peace out. God bless. I'll talk to you on the next one. And let's just get a little screenshot right quick. Yep. All right. I'll see y'all later. I got to get just some material ramped up. And I got a surprise on the short. The song, when my husband was out driving, the song that was playing during this devastation, the perfect short will be coming up. Look for it in a red truck. That's my husband's Jimmy. Anyway, once again, talk to you on the next one. I know this was long. Thank you for being with me. Peace out.